welcome to another episode of Path to Black Belt. Whew. It's one of these days that it seems like I'm full of excuses, but sometimes you just gotta seize the moment. I volunteered at a festival, and to deal with crowds and stuff like that, I still have to drink a considerable amount of alcohol. So alcohol, dancing, and rock and roll requires recovery. So that's why I'm not working out today. But I realized, well, part of life is experiencing other things besides progress in your training. But I still want to make progress in my training. So what I do is to work on the mental aspect of martial arts, because for me martial arts is not only about the art of fighting, it's also about how you carry yourself through adversity, because that is the real fight. Life is the real fight. Diseases, depression, uh, stress, all that catches up to me if I don't take care of myself, basically. So I decided to walk in the woods, read some philosophy, and do some meditation. And I did my splits at least 5 times a week. And I also realized that as long as I don't do martial arts for a living, or run a dojo or whatever, and actually earn money running the dojo, because most people who are teachers in dojos or dojang, that we say in Korean in Taekwondo lingo, they have normal jobs on top of that. But if I ran something like that, well, I would have less of an excuse to not train. But now I have zero excuses. It's like I have a lot of time off, but I'm gonna work full time from Tuesday. And then I also have to be consistent. So I promised myself to at least have 3 or 4 solid workouts at worst. At best, 5 or 6. And they vary from weight training to martial arts, or to just stretching. And stretching and meditation is also martial arts related. Meditation, at least, is easy to do. So let's read some philosophy then. There are 2 days, so I missed a little. So, adversity reveals. How does it help my husband to make misfortune heavier by complaining about it? This is more fit for a king to seize your adversities head on. The more precarious his situation, the more imminent his fall from power, the more firmly he should be resolved to stand and fight. It isn't manly to retreat from fortune. Seneca, Oedipus 80. As the CEO of Charles Schwab, Walt Bettinger hires thousands of people each year and interviews hundreds more. Over his lifetime, we can safely assume he's had his share of hits, misses, and surprises when it comes to bringing people on board. But to consider one technique he's used as he's gotten older. He takes a candidate to breakfast and asks the restaurant's manager to purposely mess up the candidate's breakfast order. He's testing to see how they react. Do they get upset? Do they act rudely? Do they let this little event spoil the meeting? Do they handle the inconvenience with grace and kindness? How you handle even minor adversity might seem like nothing, but in fact it reveals everything. Oh, that's what I like about philosophy. It makes me really think on these matters. What am I really made of? Am I really made of good stuff? Oops. That's why this is good mental training, because whatever you feed your brain with becomes you. That is my Stoic quote. So less slop on the phone. Doom scrolling should end immediately. I said it today. So it's time to document every day now in my videos. Have I doom scrolled today? Or have I fed myself with proper thoughts? This will change my life. But it will be gradual. It will not be a dramatic change. Because even just making these videos and reading philosophy every day is changing my outlook on life. So let's sit and read a bit more philosophy before I will meditate. The great warrior Dalsim said, "I will meditate and then destroy you." That's just a joke. I just really like Street Fighter. Anyway, let's read the next part. June 28th. That's today. No self-flagellation needed. Philosophy called for simple living, but not for penance. It's quite possible to be simple without being crude. Seneca, Moral Letters. Marcus' meditations are filled with self-criticism, and so are the writings of other Stoics. It's important to remember, however, that's as far as it goes. There was no self-flagellation, no paying penance, no self-esteem issues from guilt or self-loathing. You never hear them call themselves worthless pieces of crap, nor do they ever starve or cut themselves as punishment. Their self-criticism is constructive, laying into yourself, unduly depriving yourself, punishing yourself. That's self-flagellation, not self-improvement. No need to be hard on yourself, too hard on yourself. Hold yourself to a higher standard, but not an impossible one, and forgive yourself. And if and when you slip up, this one is good. So that's why I'm documenting doom scrolling and stuff like that, because I do want to feed my brain to become a better person. And other than that, well, this video is still about the path to martial arts. So I need to include some practical martial arts plans that, despite not being active in martial arts today, I've been somewhat active theoretically. I have researched the ways of the iron fist. I want to research techniques on how to make my fists more solid. And what's the fun part about that is that what I found on YouTube and about martial arts and iron fist and stuff, that I'm already doing something in that direction that I was already familiar with, that I kind of talked about a little bit. Knuckle push-ups. It's on the list of things. But there is another exercise to add to that. Jumping knuckle push-ups. That I actually jump a little bit up at the end of the push-up. That I do an explosive push-up. And then my knuckle just bumps a little bit into the ground. So toughening the hands is about making microfractures in your bones to make bones heal and grow stronger. It should be done carefully, because otherwise it will destroy stuff. But to some extent I've already done that. Strength training does that too. Strength training does not only fracture the muscles but also the skeleton, and thus makes bone mineral density stronger, because that's something that's measured in athletes. So my bones are already more sturdy against bricks and stuff, but I still need to practice technique and specificity of technique in order for me to break a brick. And now it's time for me to just listen to the birds, feel the wind on my body, and meditate. After that, I will go to the school and practice music because I have neglected my musical practice lately since school ended. I've been all about martial arts, but I am studying music for a reason. So, and I need to stimulate my brain. I need to read music and move my fingers and react to a metronome, at least to some extent. Then I can go home, chill, play video games. Then I've earned that. Anyway, um, and by the way, Norway, I have to talk about that match because I did see it at the festival. Norway lost 4-1 to France, but it seems like a strategic maneuver. The great champion Holland, he was on the bench, he was warming the bench, and Nusa came in like close to the end of the match. But I also heard that the strategy is like training their B team so they also become better, so they have better substitutes as well. And they also save the strength of the best players, so they, because Norway have still, they have enough points to advance anyway, so they it didn't matter whether they lost or won that match. So a lot of excitement for nothing, and a lot of like, oh, disappointment for nothing. There wasn't that much of a damage done, and don't I practice to be a stoic? Do I genuinely care whether this team loses or wins? No, not really. But is there a part of me that gets extra excited and happy and filled with energy when Norway wins? Of course there is. I'm rooting for them. I want them to win. So, the final note should be, as always, Hey, Norge! Pum, 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 pum. And have a good one.